Hi friends, welcome back to my studio. Today we're going to be playing a little more with the new Planners Anonymous digital, I haven't learned the term yet, digital weekly sticker kits. So I just did one video that I'll make sure to link where I showed you all of the parts that were in here and what you might use them for and whatever, just a quick intro. Today I'm actually going to be playing in here in Silhouette Studio. So the first disclaimer is that I am using a Windows computer. Things may look different on a Mac. I'm using Silhouette Studio Designer Edition, which is an upgraded version. It is one version up from the free. I believe it's a $50 upgrade. Sometimes you can find it for sale for $35. I don't have the free version anymore. I believe that everything I'm going to be doing can be done in the free version, but I do not know that for sure because I don't have it anymore. I will say that Designer Edition is a really nice life upgrade. Okay, now that we've got our disclaimers out of the way, I have opened the journaling page here and I opened the Silhouette Studio version. If you have only the free version, you might be able to open this. You may have to open the JPEG, in which case it'll look like this. It'll look, all the art is the same, but it doesn't have these red outlines, and then you'll have to draw them yourself. I don't think you're gonna have to do that. I think you can use the SVG, but I can't prove it. So you would just draw a box here, and then you'd set it to exactly what you want, 1.5 by 2. I think actually standard box is 1.9. There you go. So then you'd have a box. You can copy, oops. See, one of the things you can do in Silhouette Studio Designer Edition is lock this page down, because I find that Silhouette makes it really hard to select the right thing. So now I'm just gonna copy and paste, and I'm actually gonna move it with the cursor so that I don't pick up the wrong thing, and you can put them down where you want them. It's so annoying. Here, this by itself is the reason to pay for the upgrade. Probably not, but you can cut, add it to a new layer, bring the layer down to the bottom, paste it into this layer and hit the lock button, and then you can't click on it anymore. But you can only do that in Designer. But pretending that we're doing that, you could, nope, I'm in the wrong layer. It's not all perfect. Okay. And then we can copy and paste this one and make our boxes this way. So if, and then you set this one to 3. That's what you would do if you can't open the other version and you're using Silhouette Studio. But I'm here to talk about Silhouette Studio because that's what I enjoy using. You can use Silhouette Studio, the free version, without having a actual Silhouette machine, which I find convenient. Okay, what I'm experimenting with here is, so these are 5 by 7, which is nice, but it leaves like a lot of empty space. So when I opened Silhouette Studio, if you don't see these things, you go up to this page setup here, you go to registration marks, and if they're not on, then you click on. And then also here in this place, if these aren't on, you want to show the cut border. You can't have anything you want cutting outside of this red line, and you can't have anything blocking these block registration marks. Those are critical. You don't want to mess with those. There are ways to reduce how much space these take up. My machine does not like that. I have to leave these exactly where they are. I find that my machine is pretty good at making very precise cuts in the interior, but I cannot mess with those. All right, let's try rearranging these. So I want to maximize my space. There's too much empty space here for me. So the easiest way by far to do that is just to put other things there. So let's just find some other art that we might like, and let's open the Higgy Life Creative Kit and the artwork and pull this up, and then we can just put things we may enjoy having someday in here. All right, this is my common problem with Silhouette. Everything comes in with a red outline. I hate that. So it'll come in, we'll click on it, we'll turn this outline to off. We don't want it to cut that close. Stickers have offsets on them so that you don't have, it's not trying to cut right up against the art. And the way we add an offset is you click on this, you go to the offset panel, you click offset, and you can see it made, you've seen stickers, you know what this is like. This is bigger than I need. I like to do 0.05. But I don't really need it to cut out this like tiny piece here. But it's coming as one object, so I have to do release. I right-clicked on it, clicked release compound path. Wow, there are a lot. Okay, when there are a lot, what I like to do is while they're all selected, I hold down the shift key and I click on the big one. Now all of the ones except the big one are selected, or they should be, and I can hit delete. Oh, and I was wrong. Let's try that again. This is the one we want to do release compound path. Okay, now we've got these two. Now I can hold the shift key, click on the big one, and delete the two smaller ones. Then I like to click and drag and select all of these and click group. Now, whenever I move these, they move around together. I really don't need to do anything with this one. Sammy has already made all the cut lines. I can just, that one's gonna be tricky. I can just be adding things. Remember to change the color. You're gonna be upset if you don't. I guess this one could be right there, but we're gonna add an offset. And you can go ahead, click, group, and you can do this all the way in, making the most of your sticker paper. That is one of your options. That is, in my opinion, the easiest option to maximize your space. If you don't want to do that, because you just want this sticker kit, you just want to live in this sticker kit, let's see what we can do. So I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. It will fit within these cut lines, but if I want to put more stuff here, I'm going to have a problem. So, because this is too wide. So let's open, for example, the boxes page. Silhouette Studio. I'm just going to copy it and paste it. Now if I rotate it, you can see it's too wide. They both fit, like if you were just printing it, you could print it on the page just fine. I'm well within the printer margins, but I'm outside of my cutting margins on the Silhouette Studio, like on the Silhouette machines. So if I want to maximize this, here's what I would do. I would drag it so that this bottom sticker here is clear of this particular registration mark. This one is obscuring the registration mark, but there's not actually a sticker here. Like, I could use it as a sticker, but it's mostly branding. So what I'm going to do is go to my box. I'm going to draw a white box, and I'm going to remove the outline because I don't want to cut it. Now we've just made enough space here for that registration mark to read. Now, how can I do something similar? It's a shame, so I can do exactly the same. No, it's too tall. Okay, here's what I could do for this one. If I were trying to make the most of my space, oh, actually it fits. Because at the top I have 2 registration marks, at the bottom I only have 1, so I can clear it. Here's what I would do if I wanted to make the most of my space. I would personally, can I move this up? Annie. Here's what I would do if I wanted to make the most of my space and I was willing to do a little hand cutting to make it happen. I would move this up. I still have this covering. It's not going to cut this line here, but I think we can live with it. I'm going to move this up, all the way up. Now, if I print this, this will depend on your printer margins, but on my printer, all of this is within the margins. I might lose a tiny bit up here, but I'm not going to lose any of my boxes, and I don't even think I would lose this. What I would do then is, when I send this to cut, will it do this now? I think it'll do it later. Okay, I'll show it to you later. If I send this to cut, what's going to happen is that it's going to throw up an error and say that I have things, oh, here. We've got a problem over here. Let's move this over a little. So we'll actually have to do the same thing over here. I was wrong. We won't lose much, but we have to draw another white box here. Oops. We can make it smaller, but you don't want to mess with those hashed mark areas. They're serious business. You don't want to do it. Which actually might be a problem here. I don't know. It could go either way. Let's be safe rather than sorry. So I'm going to draw another white box here. Oops. Oops, there we go. Okay, so now I don't have anything in my hashed marks. Nothing in my hash marks. I do have things outside the cuts. So what that's going to mean is there are 2 sets of lines. Can you see them here on these pages? There's a blue line here that goes around the page, and that's so that you can have it set to like automatically cut nice 5x7 sticker sheets, right? So you can have it cut a nice 5x7 sticker sheet and then your stickers inside. I don't care about that nearly as much as I care about optimizing my space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this. I'm going to do ungroup. For this one, honestly, it doesn't matter. I'm going to just keep clicking, right-clicking, and hitting ungroup until I can't anymore. I'm going to select this blue, and I'm going to delete it. Nope. Come on. I didn't select the right thing, I think. Oh, there's more ungrouping we can do. Just keep going. Maybe I was looking. Okay, now can I select the blue? Yes. So I've selected the blue and I've deleted it. That's going to matter more here. You can't really see it. This blue line here is what is cutting out the sides and the bottom of this journal sticker at the bottom. And I'm just going to, oops, I didn't ungroup it on this one. I'm just going to again, just keep clicking ungroup until there's no more ungrouping to be had. And I'm actually just going to move this line down here to the edge of the sticker and in to the edge of what I've made the sticker. All right, now on this top sheet, I don't have anything interfering with my margins. Everything will be cut by the machine the way I want it to. Oh, you know what we can do on this bottom one? I'm gonna click, drag, until to select them all, group them again, and see if I move it up, this white space is on top of the page above it, which I don't want. But I can right click on it and send to back. All right, now what I can do is like sneak it even closer. So what I need, I don't know if you can see it, what I need is this red cut line and this blue cut line to not be overlapping, and they're not. So I have enough space, and that should be fine. And that actually is enough to get all of my red lines inside, which is better than I had hoped to do. So now I can print this. I'm using all of the printable paper here, essentially, and printable and cuttable paper, and none of it is outside the bounds. If I hadn't been able to move it up, if I'd had to leave it here, what I would have done is have the machine will cut everything except for these 3 lines, and I would just take my X-Acto knife into it. It's a little annoying, but it's way less annoying than having like half of your page empty. Let's see what we can do with the other 2 pages. So that was the journal and the box. Let's come back to the deco. Let's start with the week's basic. Again, I'm going to do the Silhouette Studio. This is what I was talking about before. We're going to go over here. We're going to turn the registration marks on. We're going to come over here, and we're going to do the show print border and show cut border. Great. Now here I'm not going to be as flexible about what I'm willing to cover up, but I'm not sure I have to. I don't. Or at least it's really close. We might, if we're trying to optimize, this here is asking for trouble a little bit. If you know your machine, you can maybe get away with it, but if this swoop isn't that important to you, we can just kind of block it off again. And just give us the space you need. You can, I don't know, make a cut line here of some kind just to do that. So that one's not hard. I have a feeling the deco page might be tricky, but let's see it. Open the Silhouette Studio file, copy, paste. This one is kind of full to the brim. Again, let's send it, right click and send it to the back so that we can get it as close up here as possible. Oh man, we're gonna get away with it. We're gonna get away with it, people. I'm so excited. Okay. So once I've got this up as close as I can, what I'm gonna do, look, is I can save just a smidge of space. If this is all too annoying for you, which is totally understandable, you can just print them out and waste the paper, or you can do the digital creative kit. That's up to you. No judgment from me. What I'm going to do is there's this blue line you can barely see that's the edge of this first page, and that's going to cut. What I'm going to do is nudge this all the way until that cut line is cut here, because I don't actually care about keeping any of the white space around this journal, like torn paper sticker. That doesn't bother me, and I think that gains me, which one am I moving? That's fine. All right, so I'm moving it all the way up, and a cut line will come through there, and that will be cut differently. And then we can move it to this direction. And we have enough space. I think it's so close. It's so close. I'm going to shove this slightly closer. I'm going to lose a little bit of this box, but I'm going to get this washi tape as close as I can. You're going to need to know your own machine to know what kinds of cut tolerances are fine, but mine is really good. We're just not getting these little divots here in the stamp. Let's see, is there any room? There is. Okay, look. We have a little space here. Actually, the closest one is this washi, but we still have a little space to move it up. And I don't know if you can see it because it's on a red, but the washi here is still below. Now we're getting kind of blasé about our hash marks. So I'm gonna again draw another white box just to protect those. And I'm gonna nudge it until I can just barely see the red line on this washi strip. Okay. Now, did that buy us enough space on this one? So I'm gonna move it up all the way until the washi. It's close, it's so close. All right. Y'all are welcome to think I'm compulsive. I'm gonna lose a smidge of the washi. And I'll have to cut that with an X-Acto knife, but it won't be hard. And make sure that these boxes are still within, because I don't want to cut the boxes. The washi I can do. Now I can scoot this up just a bit. And there, okay. And now I've lost a tiny smidge of this, but I haven't lost any washi, and now the stamp is in. There's just a smidge here that's outside of the lines, and I might need to take an X-Acto knife to just quickly cut that. But now I've got all 4 sticker pages on here. My casualties are, I've lost a smidge of this sticker, but only a very little bit. A smidge of this washi. I've lost this little swoosh, although we could lose a little, maybe we've moved it. I mean, you could have almost the whole swish. Can I get it? Is there any room? There's a little room. All right, we can save the swish. So I'm moving it to the right. I can save the swish. We're not actually in the cut line for here. So I'm gonna move the white box to protect this. But we're still outside of the cut line. All right, so we've removed a casualty. Now there are no casualties on this sheet at all. This sheet, the only casualty is a smidge of this tear, and we might have to cut a smidge of this here. On the other page, this one, We've lost a little of this header that isn't a cut piece anyway. And we'll have to cut these by hand, although I thought I had found a way that I didn't have to cut them by hand. I guess we can move them up is what I had originally. So now I don't have to cut anything by hand on here. I've lost a little of the like branding, and but I've got all the things. So we've lost very little. We've made a lot of our pages. Let me show you how I'm going to send it to get cut. Well, I guess first I would do is print. So we go to File, Print. You'll want to make sure all of this is right. Silhouette has a tendency to get some of its orientations confused sometimes, and that can be really frustrating. But this all looks right. The orientation is right. You can hit print. You can select any of your printer preferences and go ahead and print it on your sticker paper. Then you can send it. Oh, okay. So when you send it, it will select all of your things. I hate the simple one. I always like to look at lines, because if you look at lines, it will select all the different line colors and you can tell it what to print, what to cut, and what not to cut. The difference here is that it's seeing my boxes, and I don't actually want to cut my boxes. If I go to line, because those boxes don't have a line on them, or they shouldn't, I can, oh, here. That's what it is. This one has a white line on it, so I can unselect the ones I don't want, and I can look at it and make sure that all my printing things are exactly, all my cut lines are exactly the ones I want, and not any of the ones I don't want, because like, if this one is selected, then it's worth keeping your eyes on. And I often change the colors in Silhouette Studio. So then I can select the material. That'll depend on what you're printing. I don't know, his cut came in with here. This isn't what I want. I happen to know that my sticker paper is one of these new material ones. And these are the settings I like on the sticker paper. I use 2, a depth of 2, a force of 2, a speed of 5. You'll have to experiment. My Cameo's not on right now, so I'll have to go turn that on. But I can hit. I'll go turn it on and I'll show you. Okay, once I've connected my thing, I can send it, and here's the error I was showing you. Some of the cut lines in this design are overlapping the cut border, the red rectangle, so only part of the shape will cut. Do you want to continue? We knew that. We planned accordingly. I'm going to press yes. If you don't want that and you want to rearrange, you can press no. I actually haven't printed it yet, so I'm not going to actually press yes yet, but that's what it would do. And it's mostly talking about this like wavy line here. I think all of the other ones are inside the border, albeit extremely closely. All right, and then in this one that we've done, we can send it and it's gonna say the same thing. Again, I prefer line, and I don't want the white ones, and I don't want the blue ones, I don't think. Okay, we need to do a little bit of editing here because I don't want, there are 2 blue lines. You can see them here. There are 2. And they're not what I want. So let's go in. This is going to be the same thing we did for the other page. I'm going to click on here. I'm going to right click. I'm going to do ungroup. Keep ungrouping until there is no more ungrouping to do. I'm going to click on this blue line and I'm going to have it come just to here. That way it's still cutting these 3 sides, but it's not outside of the border. This one here, I'm going to right click, I'm going to do ungroup, ungroup, And I'm just going to delete this one. This one isn't cutting any of my things. Oops. Except that's the art. Not. There we go. These blue lines around are if you want to have like beautiful 5x7 finished sheets and you want them to look great in your sticker albums or whatever. If that's important to you, do that. You can do it the way I showed you at the very beginning. If that's not important to you, then we've just deleted them. So now this is the only blue line. We still want the red lines. Okay, it's still going to be cutting this line here. I don't want that. What are my options? None of them are easy. All right. Hopefully Sammy won't hate me for doing this. So I'm going to select this line. I'm going to go to the node tool. That's where we can see all the things that make up this line. And I'm going to click on them and delete them. Now I need to click on this one and move it till it's here. Now if we send, that looks good. So the node is for moving cut line pieces. All of this looks good. Now it's probably still going to give me this warning because of this little spot right here. Let's see. Yes, but I'm okay with that. I'd rather cut this by hand than to have to do anything else. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful, just kind of a way to optimize your sticker paper with these new kits. Obviously, all future kits will have slightly different art and you'll have to make these decisions separately, but hopefully I've taught you how to make these decisions and then you can take them forward for yourself. I hope you enjoy the sticker kits. If you liked this video, hit the thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them below and I will try to answer them, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, friends.